Okay, so as far as I know, we're live. Please let me know if you can hear me. I'm Rand Hoppe, and welcome to the Hoboken Historical Museum's live stream. We're heading out on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook Live, and this is our Thursday night show, Hoboken Talks.
Hoboken Chat.
Hoboken Talks. And it's something that we've been. I think we're on our 31st episode, which is it's pretty cool. Oh, thanks, Eric. I was just wondering whether the sound was good. Eric's over on Facebook.
Thank you, Eric.
So we've been running the show now for quite a while, and it's fun when I get the host, because then the control room comes to the table here, and it just ends up becoming a whole another level of complexity. But I'm here tonight with my dear longtime friend John O'Toole, Mr. Trouble.
It's me.
It's you. And let's see. Okay. And there we are. And we're there twice.
Oh my goodness. Whoa.
So let's talk about that picture in the back, John. What are we talking about? What are we looking at here?
Well, I think, Brad, that we're looking at the Christmas festivities at Maxwell's in the front room. You can tell by the mistletoe.
Oh, the mistletoe and the lights.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the pile of coats, winter coats in the back on top of my records.
Yeah. You were DJing the holiday party.
It's probably the holiday party.
Right.
Everybody's getting nice and toasted. I'm smoking Gawaz tobacco, no longer available anywhere.
A step up from drum.
Yes. God save the French.
Yeah.
And
I remember Gawaz.
Those parties were a lot of fun.
They were.
Exclusive, maybe, but anybody could really get in if you just knew somebody.
Yeah, it's true.
But it's a lot of fun. My hair is a lovely shade of white.
What's up with that?
Well,
you had a treatment.
I had a treatment at the house of Patrick Morrissey, his salon on 14th Street. Right. One night after working. The party moved from the bar to the salon. A couple of us carrying cases of beer up the block, and Patrick's like, "Let me do your hair." And he said, "Oh my God." And he said it to me and Steve Fallon, and Steve Fallon said, "That's a great idea. You go first, John." And I said, "Okay, Steve." And sure enough, I did it. And Fallon's like, "Nope, I'm not going to do it." So I did it, and it was a bit of an odd look for me. So much so that a couple of weeks later, I'm in the Port Authority taking the escalator up to the bus gate.
Yeah.
And these two brothers were on the steps above me, and they turned around and said, "Yo, man, what'd you do to your hair?" And I said, "I was drunk in a hair salon at 4 o'clock in the morning. Don't make the same mistake I made."
That's right.
And eventually, obviously, it grew out.
So, thankfully.
Thank goodness.
Yes. So we welcome any commentary if you'd like to.
Any commentary, good, bad, indifferent.
No, but I'm the filter, because I only let us see what I like. So
that's true.
I am the filter.
He's a not so benevolent filter.
Correct. But we welcome your comments and your questions, and please feel free. Right there in the comments.
Please.
Yes, we're desperate. What are we going to talk about? We've only known each other for like how long?
Some things can't be said until the statute of limitations
that's
expires.
True too, yeah.
So,
okay.
You know who I'm talking about.
So, John.
Yes, Rand.
Can you tell me your Hoboken story? When did you first learn of Hoboken? Was Hoboken ever mentioned in your home in Lodi?
Not particularly. My father would take the train, the tubes.
Oh, right.
To the train.
Right.
And then take the train out to Hasbrook Heights, Teterboro. In my house in Lodi, we could not use the phone from 4:30 to 6 o'clock because my father might be
He
calling.
might be calling from the train station.
So yes,
Right.
it's like I'm catching the 5:52. It's like okay.
Yeah.
God forbid somebody else would call at the same time.
Who
is on the phone? So yeah, there's a bit of a high wire dance around the phone, but yes.
So what was that? Your mom would then go pick him up?
My mother would go pick him up in Teterboro, and I'd sometimes ride along and hide in the back seat, and
right,
surprise dad, like boo. There's a lot of people in my life back then in Lodi and Saddlebrook had fled Hoboken back in the day.
Right.
They settled out in Lodi.
Right. And Hasbrook Heights and all kinds of places. People would have left Hoboken.
Frank Sinatra moved to Hasbrook Heights.
He did.
He did.
He did.
Pardon me. So as life went on in the 80s, my father decided to take the family out to dinner at the place which is now the Dubliner. It was an Italian restaurant before that. Gerino's, yes. So we went there. I had spent the afternoon in the East Village buying some rock and roll clothes at Trash and Vaudeville.
T&V, nice. Okay.
And I went back to Lodi and put on my rock and roll clothes and drove down to Hoboken for the first time. And then I made that turn around Sinatra Drive, and all of a sudden there was downtown Manhattan in all its glory. It was just like, it's the Emerald City. I loved it. Yeah. My brother Frank had been going down to Hoboken to Maxwell's for a while.
Right.
So I decided to check it out. Now, during the day, Monday through Friday, I had a job driving from Saddlebrook, New Jersey to Manhattan.
Yes, you did.
And one day I decided to just take a peek at Hoboken and drive down Washington Street at 11 o'clock in the morning. And where Village Market, I remember this implicitly.
Village Market, yeah.
Village Market.
Yeah.
And I'm driving my van down, and I see this guy who did cut my hair and dyed it, walking down the street, dressing flamboyantly and fashionable, and he's just does not fit in with the Hoboken idea.
Yeah.
And I said, if this guy can walk down the street unmolested, unbothered by anyone, this is the town for me.
Fantastic. Yes.
And that person was Roy Cohn. I mean, Patrick Morrissey. Sorry.
Okay.
So
that's cool. Yeah.
So then I started. My brother Frank was going to Maxwell's a lot, and I had built it up that it was inside. It was the walls were covered with ivy, which is not the thing. I always build up something, and when I actually see it, it's never that at all. So
right.
He went to something at Maxwell's. Glenn Morrow, who's going to be on the show soon.
He is.
He was playing guitar in the front room. And when Frank, my brother, told me this, I expected Glenn to be playing acoustic guitar in front of an ivy grotto, which is not the case at all.
This is back in the day when there was a piano in the front room of Maxwell's.
Yes. And so finally, I decided to go to Maxwell's on my own. I forgot who I was seeing, but I was greatly intimidated by everyone there. I thought they were all cooler than me.
Oh, no, not that.
I sat at the bar, and Martha Griffin asked me, Patrick is great. Yes, he is. Martha Griffin asked me what I wanted. I'm like, I'll have a Coca-Cola, please. And I sat there just like intimidated by everybody.
Right.
And eventually, I got over that fast.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am today.
Yeah. But how often did you go to Maxwell's before we met?
Oh,
a lot.
Maybe a couple of times a month.
I remember you talking about it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Well, that was the point of contact between you and I. It's like, oh, you guys live in. Rand was friends with the wonderful Jose Blackerby. I met both of them at the same time at this book company I worked for in Manhattan.
Harcourt, Brace Jovanovich.
HBJ. So I was driving from Saddlebrook to Manhattan, Midtown Manhattan. Right. And one day I'm doing my rounds delivering interoffice mail. And in the distance, I see these two guys acting very strangely and having a good time. And I'm thinking, these guys are acting just like me.
Yep.
And I somehow connected, and I found out they lived in Hoboken, where I started going to a couple of months before. And this came to that, and I said, "You guys go to Maxwell's?" They're like, sometimes.
Sometimes we're really broke, so like we get Meisterbrow 6-packs and hang out in our apartment and watch Star Trek.
That's it.
Maxwell's is a little expensive for us.
Yes. So yeah, and then fell in with this whole crowd of degenerates from Colgate University.
That's true. Yeah.
And I never looked back.
That's right. And we spent a lot of time hanging out. There were times when Jose and I were actually working in the Manhattan office, and then they closed it and they shipped us out. So we were reverse commuting to Saddlebrook.
Yes.
From Hoboken into the Port Authority, and then getting on another bus out down Route 3 or 46.
Oh yeah,
that
was a chore.
No, yeah.
The money must have been great.
It was great.
You're making $7 an hour.
That's right. But there were times the most fun I remember having with you back in those days was when it was like Friday night, and somehow you because your mom worked there too, right?
Yes.
So you had a lot of slack.
Yeah, they looked the other way on a lot of things because my mother was like the patron saint of HB Jack.
That's right. So you would kind of like work the schedule a little bit so that me, Jose, or I, or both of us, or whatever, that we could hop in the van.
I'd give you a ride back.
And we would give us a ride back, but we would go to Manhattan.
Yes.
And then we'd go and buy comic books.
Comic books and records on St. Mark's Place.
That's right.
And I eventually convinced the company that they should get commercial plates so I can park just about anywhere on St. Mark's Place.
Yeah, that's right, because it was commercial only.
So I'd park the van in front of St. Mark's Sounds. We'd run up there and buy our records, come back with a stack of records for $20.
That's right.
Then run across the street to St. Mark's Comics and buy a
stack of comics
for $20. And then, I don't know if I'd drop you guys off or I'd meet up with you, but usually we'd hook up and read the comics and listen to the music.
Listen to the records. Get some David's cookies.
Yeah, David's cookies. Hey, what about those cookies, man?
But we'd get some David's cookies. A friend worked at David's Cookies. We'd stop by, say hi. We'd get some cookies. And,
yes, it was all quite lovely.
It was delightful. And it was lots of like I remember like Echo and the Bunnymen on a cassette tape.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
Having 17, I was very much into the Brit scene back then.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And we were talking before the show, so it's no surprise that I'll mention the fantastic Poison Arrow by ABC extended 12-inch record that John bought and brought it back, and we were in my apartment, and I put it on the turntable.
12-inch record.
We love those extended mixes back then,
but
this one had some flutes,
and I just could not abide the flute at that time. Nowadays, it's all
right,
okay.
Right? You've moved past.
You can invite me and a flute to a party, and we'd get along fine.
That's right.
But back then, I was just an uptight young individual, a little punky, a little snobby.
Your boxes of things.
I did,
right?
And it's not like the kids of today where they listen to everything. There's no segregation. I was very segregated.
I am, and it was very like I am anti Jethro Tull.
That was a reaction to my brother Brian, who loved Tull, and I was like, ugh. If you like it, then I hate it.
No, and there were flutes.
Yes, and there were flutes, and the first time I heard that, it was like, nope, it's got to go. I paid $1.99 for this, and I will leave it behind.
Hey, Mark.
At 1105 Washington.
That's right, 1105, 5-floor walk up.
That's it.
Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Hello, Mark.
Good to see you.
So tiny in the corner.
Well, yeah, down there, yeah. But it took you kind of a while. I mean, I was living in Hoboken, but you were like doing the Lodi thing, and you were in.
I was coming down here more and more and more and more and more. I was double parked outside of an apartment on Garden Street a lot of the time, and like somebody listened for the cars.
That's right. So, but how did you actually? You had quite a few stops and starts on your. I'd like to live in Hoboken.
I want to live in Hoboken. It's so full of art and music. And people I like.
Yes.
And so
what was the first one?
Actually, on the way up here, I took the bus up here, and there's a building a few doors down from Maxwell's that has the glass brick windows.
Yeah.
I almost moved in there.
Okay.
And somebody who's high up at Maxwell said, "Don't do it. The guy's a jerk." And I'm like, "Okay, Steve. Oops." So,
oh, right, on Washington Street,
with
the glass blocks.
Yeah, it's like, it's a horrible landlord, and
right.
So many people move out. Sure. So I didn't do that. I found an apartment, a loft on First and Park.
Yeah.
It's a very big space with a gentleman named Nolan Poole and another guy who had a band called the Malcotians. And when they found out I was friends with Steve Fallon, the Malcotian was like, "Oh, maybe you could be a gig there." Little did I know that was never going to happen.
But that was
my first apartment.
That was your first apartment? But that wasn't the place that our friends from Kentucky were in, were they?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So what happened was, I'm not portrayed in a good light here, but pardon me. The loft.
It was loft living in the 80s.
Loft living in the 80s, totally illegal.
Illegal. Yeah.
Nolan had one part of the loft. The Malcotian had another part of the loft, and I had the part of the loft next to the elevator shaft, which is filled with stagnant water 10 months out of the year, where mosquitoes bred 10 months out of the year. So after the first month, I was all swollen from mosquito bites. My loft mates were like, "You're not going to move out." And I'm like, "Oh, no. The next day I gave my notice. Yeah. I said, "I'm moving out."
You were covered. I remember seeing you.
It was really bad. Horrible. I was like typhoid Johnny.
You were delicious to those mosquitoes. So tasty.
I still am.
Well, okay. Didn't know.
So we had friends from Louisville that were living at the Hotel Edward.
Yep.
And they were looking for a spot, so I was able to have them move in and take over. And it was a very weird situation because the restroom, the men's room, the bathroom,
the toilet,
was covered with paintings of the Stations of the Cross. So when you're sitting there doing your business, you're looking up at Veronica's veil, or Jesus and Simon taking the cross from Jesus. Okay. So I realized that I would never be able to have my mother go there.
Oh, right. All right. So Mark is helping us out. It was apparently 1025 wash.
Huh.
And with the glass bricks.
Yes.
And
he
was
a dwarf.
He was a dwarf.
And Karen Kuehl lived in the same loft building as I did, but I didn't know her then.
Right.
But I was I was easily intimidated back then. Not like now. But so I was intimidated by Gutback a lot.
Oh, okay.
They were like tough girls.
Oh yeah.
And Mike.
And so that was you went back to Lodi.
I went back to Lodi, yes, which turned out to be not so smart an idea. But what can you do?
You got you only have so many choices. Right?
So many choices,
right?
And so basically, I went back to Lodi, took a look around, and said, "Oh, I can't live here anymore," and moved down. Pardon me, to 201 Madison, thanks to Mary Fallon.
Oh. Really?
And Kathy Thomas, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mary was living at 201 Monroe.
Wow.
And I went to see an apartment in her building, and it was a little out of my price range. It was like $400 a month. What? I was like, that's outrageous. So she's like, I think there's an apartment around the block. Let's go see my friend Kathy Thomas. And we went to see Kathy Thomas, who lived on Park Avenue. Mm-hmm. I think Kathy now lives in Florida. I'm not sure. We saw the apartment. I said I'd take it, and I lived there for a few years. I was the only white guy in the neighborhood.
Oh.
My mom drove down just to see what my neighborhood looked like, and she cried as she drove through the neighborhood.
Oh, man.
Because it did look bad, because I was at 201, and there's at 203, and then the rest was all burned out, bombed out buildings.
Bombed out buildings that were
so it looked like
lot.
Dresden.
Yeah.
So
and
then what?
You had a roommate in that apartment.
Yes, Jet Watley.
Yeah, and there was another creature.
A Zed, my buddy Zed, the best cat that ever walked the face of the earth.
Yeah, Zed was great, and Jet was great too.
Jet was great too. 2 black cats.
That's right. The human cat and the feline cat. Yeah.
So yeah, my mom would forward my mail from Lodi to Maxwell's because she didn't think the Madison Street address was that great a place.
That mailbox is not trustworthy.
No. And Mary, Anne, and Mario were like, "Why is John O'Toole having his mail delivered here?" I was like, "It's not me, it's my mom." And like, "Could you get her to stop, please?" And I'm like, "I will."
Okay. Can you tell me your favorite, or can read my mind and tell me my favorite Zed story?
Oh, well. It starts out at the ASPCA.
Oh.
I got him. One night I was making a mixtape back in the day, and I saw a mouse crawl on the floor, which made everything fly up in the air. The bottle of soda I was drinking and all the records and everything was coated with RC Cola. Wow. And I borrowed a cat from my friends at 923. Good old Ivan, and Ivan did not want to be in my apartment and spent the night crying. I realized I have to get my own cat. Went to the ASPCA, picked out this middle-aged tabby cat. When it was time to get him out of the cage, he was hissing and spitting. Turned out to be the cat from hell. But underneath, there was this black paw that reached out and grabbed my cuffs on my pants. Aww. And I looked down, and he looked up and said, "Meow." And that was the story of Zed, how Zed entered my life.
And there was something about the telephone, though.
Yes, Zed.
That's my favorite story.
Zed would. I might be projecting, but Zed.
That's okay. It's still a great story.
It's entertainment. Damn it.
It's entertainment. That's right.
But there's two parts to it. Zed would hear me answer the phone like "hello,"
right,
and eventually hang up.
The phone would ring, and you'd say
hello, and blah blah blah, and I'd hang up the phone and leave. But Zed knew how to get my attention when I wasn't feeding him fast enough in the morning. So he'd be in the next room and go, "Hello, hello," which is terrifying when you're barely awake. And he's like, "Oh my God, I better do something about this." So I went and fed Zed. But Zed would also eat the phone cord. "Hello."
Hello,
Thank you, Lisa. It's just like him.
Yes.
So yes, Zed would eat the phone cord. I think he was doing it so if the phone wouldn't ring, I would never leave.
You would never leave.
So
right.
He was a very smart cat. He learned how to drive. He drove a commercial truck across the country. It was like, like, so he's a very crazy cat. He was the cool cat. He went through a lot up and down. He was my boy.
Yeah. And then you moved down the block.
With Kevin?
Yeah.
Oh, but there's a few places I moved with Jimmy Lee. At 11,
oh my gosh, that's right. You were at 11 next to the Wallace School.
Next to the Wallace School.
Yeah,
and,
in the basement.
Yeah, I lived there for a couple of years.
You did.
I had a big party there one night.
Boy, did you.
Which Mark Singleton had a flashback when he was showing that apartment to somebody. He's like, "Wait, I was here once before."
I've been in here. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, many brain cells were killed in that apartment.
That's very true. Yes.
So I lived there, and I lived at 201 Madison, and then after 1124 Willow, I moved to 216 Madison with the wonderful Kevin Crud.
That's right.
And that was a lot of fun, a lot of ups and downs there.
Yep.
Kevin's a character to experience. And then after that, moved one other place, and then moved back to Lodi for a few months in 91.
Wow.
And then settled in Weehawken for about 11 years.
Yeah, you were on Jane Street, right?
So it was
Weehawken.
Very much Barbary Coast, Tales of the City.
Yeah. There he is, Mark. Mark remembers your basement.
You probably remember it more than I do, Mark.
It was scary. It was.
Whoa.
Yeah. Walk past it every time I go to Trader Joe's.
Oh.
I walk past that place. I'm like, oh yeah, there it is.
Oh, I get a chill down my spine.
I remember one late night walking back to my place from that apartment and walking up 11th and just kind of looking to the side of one of the houses there and their wrought iron railing, and there was a possum.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, hello. It's 4 a.m. Hello, possum.
Well, last year coming home from Jaded Toes, I ran into. I saw a skunk luckily, I was wide awake and wide awake and rocking basically a straight line. And about 10 feet ahead, it's like, oh, a skunk. I walked across the street. And like, right. You don't want to get close to the skunk.
Don't make him nervous.
No, don't do that.
And now you're on like the 600 block of
I am. I've never lived on a cross street. I always lived on north south. So I'm one of those people.
And you've been there a while too, right? Long time.
19 years, man. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, coming up on the Lodi record.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
And I live with a wonderful man by the name of Bill Vila. Bill Vila, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bill.
Bill can't be with us tonight, but he sent us this lovely mug.
This is our Hoboken Talks mug. It's something. Oh, look, the yellow actually does the green screen too. Fantastic.
Ooh, look! Oh, wow! It's spooky, wooky.
So why don't we take a look at some of these photos that you've pulled out of the archives?
Why don't we?
Let's do it. I'll push this button.
Don't push that button.
All right. Let's see. What am I doing? Oh, I'm going to do this. Right.
That's on Pornhub.
No.
Oh.
Hey, what's this all about?
It's the Marthathon.
Right.
Which we were sort of there at the whole beginning, the whole planning.
Well,
pardon me. That guitar is my Fender acoustic, which I bought from James Mastro at Levi Guitars on 48th Street.
Oh, nice.
And I was working across the street from the Ed Sullivan Theater, which had a bar called McCann's. And I went there, and it was my live debut was at McCann's.
Oh, really?
And I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and they asked me to sing "Dirty Old Town" by Ewan McCall, and popularized by the Pogues, and I only knew the chorus. But I did sing a version of "Walking After Midnight" by Patsy Cline. Could not play the guitar to it, but I was backed up by some decent Irish musicians. Huh. That night, came back to Maxwell's, showing off my guitar. Rand was there. Martha was bartending, and she was talking about this idea of having a fundraiser for her movie about Gutbag.
Right.
And I think Rand, I will give the credit to Rand for calling it "Let's Do a Marthathon."
Oh, no.
And there was really? A lot.
Yeah. You would say that
I would. Me? Yes, that bullseye is on your head, my friend.
Okay,
and,
I'll take it.
There, Maxwell's. There was a lot of creative people, a lot of fun people. And everybody loved Martha. So it's like, oh, a show for Martha. I'm there.
Yep.
Rand and I and our friend Mike Weinert from Louisville.
That's right. Martha. We were on the back bar. We were playing on the back bar. Mike had a washboard.
Yeah.
And a cymbal.
We did Photograph by Ringo Starr. We did Submission, You Really Got Me, and Creep in the Cellar medley by the Sex Pistols, the Kinks, and the Butthole Surfers.
Oh, that was good. Boy, we were great.
What else did we do?
Did we do
Dirty Back Road and Dancing Barefoot? Yes, and Dirty Back Road by the B-52s.
Yeah.
But we also backed up Louis DeLava, who is singing El Paso by Marty Robbins with Steve the Cook in drag as whatever the character's name.
Sarita?
Something like that. No. Steve was in drag. Louis was singing. We were playing guitars and harmonizing behind him. It was all rather good fun.
That was. There was lots of fun. And we were talking about it, I don't know. Yeah, I chimed in, but there was some conversation about it in the Maxwell's group.
Yes,
on
yes.
Facebook.
And
there is a videotape. So
Mark Mazet might have it.
Yeah. And so that would be a lot of fun to see.
A blast from the past. I don't know. It would be great to see. Great if it ever makes it to the net.
Yep. I've digitized many VHS tapes. So, I offered my services and the resources of the Hoboken Historical Museum to help make that happen. But we're I think it was Steve Saporito's idea to have us sit on the bar in the back.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was like, why are we doing that?
Who did the sound that? No, Justin probably. Justin Luckner. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Luckner. He never gets enough credit, but Justin was a great guy, great sound man, handsome guy. Just a lovely guy to be around. I think he did the sound for it. Mike Weiner lives in Louisville. He was the drummer for a band called Antietam, a rockin' band from Louisville.
Yep.
Louisville.
I'm wearing a New Jersey State Trooper T-shirt that my cousin Steve gave me.
How ironic.
Huh? That was part of the fun.
And we're just sitting there harmonizing. Martin Kelly's behind us, who's out of, he's not in this frame, but he's there in our hearts as well.
That's right.
Martin Kelly, ladies and gentlemen.
Right here. Okay. Oh, so I put this in. This is not John's choice; it's my choice. But
I was so against it.
we had a bit of a chat about it beforehand, but I won. No. But the thing is that we would drive back from the city,
or from wherever,
but like felt like it was in your car, like you
had
a car.
I had a car full of empty Marlboro packs in the back seat.
Yeah, and there was an 8-track player in there at one point too.
Probably.
Yeah. And we'd park on River Road on Sinatra Drive
before it was cool, kids.
And it was kind of like the place to go if you're going to go to Maxwell's.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And we probably parked like around here or something. And then we got out and we're standing like, I don't know if you guys can see where I'm putting the mouse. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So we're probably standing there. It's twilight.
Yeah. Oh,
it's twilight. No, because the lighting was right.
Yeah, but there was the parking lot lights.
That's true. And the whole point of the thing is that right here on that wall, and I wish I could find a better image of it, there was murals. There was art along this wall. I think pretty completely from the building to the end.
Yes.
And right where the mouse is was a painting of two guys, like, I don't know, you'd say like longshoremen or something, standing on the pier,
like lighting a cigarette up.
One of them is lighting a cigarette, and it was like he had a long coat on and a hat, and John had a long coat on and a hat and was lighting a cigarette. And it was just one of those moments where you're like...
Life imitating art.
Like you turn around and it's like, look at that. Look, our shadow's on the wall. Oh, no, wait, that's the art,
Hey, we're moving.
It was a mind blower. That's all I'm saying. It was really, really fun. It was really fun. So, okay, let's just move on from that.
Quick.
So...
Me and Jonathan.
Jonathan Richman.
The Modern Lovers, playing Maxwell's. He played solo, as far as I can tell.
Right.
He played a show for kids, the matinee.
He did. Yep.
I loved it. I love the Modern Lovers. I love Jonathan. I think Steve Fallon is to my left.
Out of frame. Yeah.
Charlie took the picture.
Okay, great.
Yeah, Jonathan was great. He has very nice nipples in this photograph too.
It seems that you're admiring them. But.
Jonathan's ignoring me. I'm trying. I'm about
He's
to.
Like, but what's up with this guy with the sweater and the jacket?
Get him away from me, man.
Yeah.
But no, that was a magic time. There's lots of magic moments at Maxwell's, and Jonathan being there was one of them.
Yeah.
I didn't have to deal with him business wise, so I don't know what that was like. But I worked the door for a couple of his shows and had to tell people to be quiet while Jonathan's on.
Tell me more about that button.
It's an orange juice button from one of my favorite bands, Orange Juice from Scotland. They're no longer around, but Edwin Collins is. He just had a birthday.
Okay.
And Steve Daly, who used to write for the Vanity Fair, was the original drummer for Orange Juice. And he's somebody I admire too.
Excellent.
And that's the kitchen. Those are the cups.
That's Maxwell's kitchen.
Yeah.
It looks very familiar to me.
But those nipples on Jonathan, man.
Oh, please, enough already. Okay, we're going to move on. Oh, man.
Ladies and gentlemen.
John O'Toole,
Rand Hoppe, and Kevin Crud.
Yes. And Kevin's like, why are you taking that picture, man? I don't know.
Kevin's like, you want me to hit him for you, man?
I'm awfully skinny. Interesting. I'm youthful.
I'm skinnier then than I am now, but I'm wearing a Gotham hat that my roommate Jimmy Lee had, and he left it lying around, and I said, I'm wearing this Got Ham shirt.
Right, and the and we don't remember the name of the artist. I'm gonna.
He made portraits out of
fish and bees.
Not actual bees and fish, but he drew paint bees, but work it in a way that it became, this is Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
I think I was DJing, but
probably
there's no, I'm not wearing any headphones around the neck, and
that's
there's
true.
no pile of, that might be a pile of records behind you.
Oh, yeah.
But
it looks more like service stuff.
And it's also another picture by Charlie Charis.
Right. That's right.
So, yeah. Kevin was a great guy. Still is a great guy.
Yep.
Really good artist when the paint dries. Haha. But, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Kevin was my roommate for a year or so.
Lois wants to know what Jonathan Richmond drank.
Jonathan wasn't a drinker.
All right. Or, John, what did you drink?
Me, what did I drink? Let's see. I was probably drinking pint glasses full of champagne with a dash of color to call it a mimosa.
Okay.
Eventually I moved on to Guinness because I heard if you drink too much champagne, it affects your stomach and you'll never get rid of it, and you have bad breath for the rest of your life. And me being a smoker, I don't want to have bad breath, so I went to Guinness.
Yeah. I remember there was a time when you did not drink beer or Guinness or anything.
No,
right?
I wasn't straight.
Transitioned into that.
I was hanging out with a rough crowd. Julio.
That's right.
Hey, Shakespeare!
It's Shakespeare reading in the front room at Maxwell's.
Lois DeLivio
That's
organized a very loose gathering of people to read plays by Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Was it once a month?
I think it was. Yeah.
We did. What did we do?
Oh my goodness!
We did Shakespeare. It was great.
Tempest. We did Tempest.
Did we?
Brains not working. But we had fun.
It was really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed doing it because I'd have like 3 or 4 parts.
You did, yeah.
And I would do them in different voices. I'd say, "Oh, oi, where are you going with that?" And, you had to be there. It was a lot of fun.
It was a highlight. Yeah.
Yes. Everybody else was taking it so seriously.
That's
and
right.
I had the balloon and the pin. And how you like me now?
Yeah, it was like a reading and brunch and Bloody Marys, and it was really fun.
And there's the lovely Lisa, the lovely Lois, the lovely Steve, the lovely Rand, me in the background being a big goofball.
And Professor Jim and Geraldine and Kevin.
Yes, a good crowd.
Good crowd.
But I wonder what we were doing.
Yeah, can't remember.
Comedy of Errors?
I don't know. Moving on.
Yes,
What's
the
this?
Guitar Bar All-Stars. Jim Mastro and company would have this hootenanny, for lack of a better word, where anybody could play anything.
Yes, Lois.
Thank you, Lois. So it'd be hundreds of people playing guitars with the staff of the Guitar Bar. The staff would be leading us in various songs, very easy songs. There'd be young people holding up chord charts.
Chord charts, right? A!
Trying to get them in sequence, right. A flat, no. It was definitely a lot of fun. When it was magical, because when the first chord, everybody, like Jim would say, everybody give me a G chord, and there'd be hundreds of people giving a G chord. It was just like, oh man, this is magic. Yeah. And it really was magic.
It was.
I'd love them to bring it back, but since the pandemic and everything's weird, they didn't do it last year or this year. But I always participate if I can. I always hype it up, and I always try to get as many people to come. I'm playing the guitar in that one. My husband Bill is playing some shakers from Latin percussion. Lisa Rigo is on a bass. Lisa Rigo Hoppe is on a bass ukulele. Yeah, it's very, very, just so much fun.
It was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. People that born and raised in Hoboken, and we know who they are and how they are sometimes. They were like so indifferent to the whole thing. And then when they experienced it, they said, this was so much better than I ever expected it to be. And I'm like, yeah, I told you.
All right.
Now give me your money. This is a rare sighting of Martin Kelly and Julio Lopez in the wild. We rarely see them,
We do. We very rarely see them. Yeah.
Martin's quite a shy guy, and Julio is just running all over the place.
Mark
In
Kelly
fact,
right here.
we got him in the
Julio.
middle.
Yeah.
He's mid-run, and he stumbled into the Guitar Bar All-Stars. And he couldn't leave because we set a glue trap for him, and he had to eventually gnaw off his own foot to get away.
It was sad.
It grew back, but, it was impressive. And the wonderful Charlie Charis is in between me and Julio. And Charlie is usually the photographer, but I think Lisa or the Susan Scher woman, she might have taken the picture.
It's possible.
But yes, it was a good time. 5 old heads just looking at each other, being goofballs, and having a good time on a summer night.
That's right.
That never happens anymore.
No.
This is a picture of my husband, Bill. This is after we went to the multi-service center, the most romantic spot to get your civil union paperwork done.
That's right. You dressed up and got your form.
We got dressed up and got our form, and they were looking at us like, why are you all dressed up? And I'm like, we're in love. Yeah, sign here, please. It was great. That picture was taken by Julio's wife, Stina.
Nice.
We're just goofballs and just having a good time and make the most of it as we get along while wearing suits and ties, which we really don't do these days because it takes a lot of money to maintain a nice suit.
That stuff. Sure.
Yeah. So the moths have enjoyed those in our closet, but that's us. Different times. That was like 11 years ago.
Oh, what the hell?
Okay, this is Todd Abramson and Dave Post. Allowed me and Bill to have a celebration of our civil union at Maxwell's in July 2010. And I told Todd it'd be maybe 20 people there. But I also invited everybody that I was friends with on Facebook.
Yep.
And they said, what should we bring? I'm like, bring cake. We had pizzas from Napoli's Pizza on Washington Street. We ordered like maybe 10 pies. And people were like, oh, what type of gay people have pizza parties when they were banning pizza in Indiana for gay people? And it's like, we're the type of gay people that have pizza parties. So it was a lot of fun. It was another hootenanny. We passed the guitar around and we all did some songs. Mm-hmm. And this picture is this guy, Vic, my wonderful niece, Corinne, my sister, Anne-Marie, my sister-in-law, Elaine, the wonderful Billy Munford from D.C.,
yep,
my chocolate sister.
That's right.
That's my love, Bill, with the hat on. My late brother, Frank, who basically went to Maxwell's before I did. And,
right.
Good old Frank. We love him. We miss him.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a good time.
That was great. Oh, there you are.
It's the same day.
Yeah.
Me and Bill. He has the hat. I've got the cigar in my pocket. We're on our way to getting toasted. Just another lovely day. Thanks to Todd Abramson. Todd, I could never thank you enough for this. You really stood up, and Dave Post too. You guys were the best. So thank you for that. It was July 11th, 2010 at 12:48 in the afternoon.
It was 12:48. I predict.
This is the final night of Maxwell's, the Todd Abramson part. This is out on the street at 11th.
Yeah.
I'm smoking a stove, taking a picture of my roommate William, my husband Bill, and William's brother Charlie, who also takes the photograph. In the forefront is Irene Corman. I knew her as Irene Carmen. She has a married name now. Sobolov. A whole bunch of other people that I should know, but really don't. But I've probably seen them for years, but just don't know their names.
Hey, look, isn't that Saporito right behind your head?
That's always Saporito right behind
It is.
me.
Oh, forget it. You're right.
Yes, it is.
It is. He's growing out of your forehead.
Athena, get back.
Irene will be our guest on Hoboken Talks in 2 weeks. So I think next week. Who am I kidding?
Yeah,
who's scheduling?
Getting a little
thing?
Ahead of yourself.
I know.
But yeah, that was a wonderful party.
That was, really
pyramid
fun.
Power all the time.
That's right.
An in joke.
Yeah.
It was a blast. I didn't see any of the bands in the back room. I was just too busy socializing.
Having so much fun.
Just
right?
drinking anything that somebody gave it to. Here, drink this. What is it? It's urine. Okay.
And there's us.
Yes, the same party, the same night.
Yeah.
we're all getting a little sloppy there. We can't
Yeah.
hold our heads up straight.
No, we can't.
Charlie, Rand, the wonderful Illyrio, and me.
Yeah.
Yes, I think Illyrio is one of the handsomest men around. I wished he was gay. Not that I would do anything. I just wished he was gay because he's just so goddamn handsome.
I don't know how to handle that.
I don't know. Neither did the women that flew like in his orbit. They were all greatly offended when I said that out loud. It's like, Illyrio, you're so great. I wish you were gay. And they're like, that's a horrible thing to say. I'm like, no, for me.
All right. Okay, so what's this?
This is the last night of Maxwell's Dave Post version.
Right.
The night before, Bill and I had gone into the city to see Inside Llewyn Davis by the Coen brothers, starring the wonderful Oscar Isaac. And as the movie ended, I got a phone call from Lois asking me would I want to play Maxwell's the following night for the closing night of Maxwell's. Maxwell's. And I said, sure. So not that I had much time to prepare, but I definitely enjoyed it. I had too many songs and never rehearsed any of them except for one.
The one rehearsal didn't need much. It was good.
Or did it?
Well, that's the whole thing, right?
It was the most Maxwell song there could be. And it was a little ditty by a little guy named John Cage, who wrote this piece called 4 minutes, 33 seconds. And the environment is the piece. So usually what happens is in an orchestral hall, somebody walks up to the piano, lifts the lid, and for the next 4 minutes and 33 seconds, the piece becomes alive. So I did the same thing there. Bob Burt thought I was having a stroke. The sound man knew exactly what I was doing, so he was in on it, but it was a blast.
It was fun.
This was also recorded somehow, but the tape has never surfaced.
Who has that tape? We want to know.
I don't know.
Come on.
Maybe Darwin Wheatstraw knows.
Maybe Darwin knows. We Lois and I had a lot of fun. Playing that.
It was a blast.
Yeah, we had some fun.
It was January 2013. Yeah, 2014.
I don't remember.
Yup.
Oh, okay, here we go. What's this? Lois.
Oh, right. Yes. Thank you.
What was it?
Steve Winwood. I did Can't Find My Way Home by Blind Faith.
Oh, nice.
And with no flutes.
No, thank goodness.
And
we're bringing it back.
Lois is giving me a nice review for the John Cage. And very emotional and meditative. Yes, it was. You can't have enough of that.
Yep. All right. And now,
ladies and germs.
The three-headed monster.
Okay, there's Rand and myself, and the middle of that Oreo sandwich is the lovely Susan Scher, ladies and gentlemen. Susan Scher all the way from Wyckoff.
That's right.
There's something interesting that happens when Rand and Susan and I get together. It only works with the three of us.
If somebody else is there, it just doesn't happen.
It doesn't work. It's just we fall flat on our face. But as soon and we love the other people.
Yep.
As soon as they leave, it happens.
It just becomes that thing.
It becomes magical, and we double over in laughter, rolling on the floor, laughing at the stupidest stuff that we say.
That's right.
But it's the way it's said, and how it's said, and who said it to who. And,
Yep.
Yes, and Susan was in town last week for the Hoboken karaoke. Hoboken sings.
She was there. That was
she
really
was there,
cool.
yes. And she has straight hair now. She looks wonderful. She should have done that years ago. I've been telling her, girl. But here she is.
Yep.
So, yes, and Susan's in our orbit every now and then. You know, she's circling around the galaxy, and eventually the Susan Scher comet swings by Earth and wants to know if we want to hang out. And if we can, we do. If we can't, next time.
Yep.
She's a regular Kahootek.
Yeah, that's right. Kahootek. Really?
Right. I went there.
You
Sorry.
That's a
was it Hell Bop?
Hell Bop. Even better.
Bop. Okay. Rand organized a party for me in Elysian Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elysian Park. For my 50th birthday, I know it doesn't look like I'm 50, but believe me, I am.
Oh.
You should see these.
Oh, geez.
So a whole bunch of people from my past showed up. Nobody from the future showed up, which is very annoying.
Yeah, you always want, like,
I want some lottery numbers, people. So there's William and Rand and Deb Schwartz and Karen Kuhl made an appearance, and Alice is in there somewhere, and
she was
my niece Corinne and Lisa, and my cousin Neil, everybody, Julio and Stina, Charlie, William, Lois, everybody. It was wonderful. I made a
fun party.
I made a nice slideshow, which was, some would say, maudlin, of this party, to the tune of "In My Life" by the Beatles, which is like, oh, that is so maudlin. And so it's never been seen since.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay.
A simple to-do party.
Yeah. We hung in the park.
We did. We were well hung.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Those guys. Well, once again, Rand and I, this time the cream of that Oreo sandwich is Jose Blackerby, who is Rand's accomplice when I first met them at HBJ.
Yeah, we were the guys who, and his mom worked for HBJ.
Yes.
Jose and I were driving taxis in Manhattan. We did that for 3 months, and his mom was like, no more of that. I'm gonna get you something at the book company.
Where I work.
Yeah, so she got us like customer service.
So she picks up the phone, calls up Gunter Grass, and says, "My boy needs a job."
Carl and Helen Wolf.
Max Ernst, get over here.
That's right. So we were like wearing our I don't know, Army Navy clothes and being ridiculous. And John was like, "Huh?
These guys are cool.
Who are these people? They remind me of me."
Yes. And here we are, decades later, except for Jose, who's not here right now.
Well,
but
somewhere.
He's somewhere in our hearts.
That's right.
It's good times. And Jose was in town. I think Rand gave me a call. It's like, Jose's in town. We're meeting at Pier 13.
That's right.
Like, I'm there. And I met Jose and his wife and his daughters, and walked Jose to the PATH train.
Yeah.
It was a lovely summer night. Summer nights in Hoboken are quite nice.
They are. The good ones.
Yes, the good ones. The bad ones are not as nice.
The oppressive humidity ones.
Yes. Like tonight.
Yeah.
What can you do?
What can you do? All right. What's going on? This is just a few days ago.
This is the Hoboken Sangs.
Yeah, a week ago.
Yes. I was singing Sail on Sailor by the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
And didn't realize that there was such a high note in there.
That's right. Whoops.
Whoa.
Had to adjust your truss afterwards.
Oh, yes. with 2 hands.
Yeah.
I love it's one of my favorite Beach Boys songs. I dedicated it to my brother Frank. It was just, I loved it. I would do it again in a minute, only work around that high note a little bit better.
Right. And then later you did Penny and the Jets.
I also had them do the lights to match my clothing. It was quite nice. The Empire State Building was also purple that night.
Yep.
Yes, I did Benny and the Jets, forgetting that there were a lot more high notes than that. Oh, yes. So I was in the emergency room until 4 o'clock in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. I promised never to sing in public again.
No, that was great.
Until they asked.
It was a really fun night.
It was
so cool that
yes.
you got up and did those two.
I was going to do another song instead of Benny and the Jets, and I should have.
Which one?
Lido Shuffle.
I know you mentioned that.
I mentioned it and totally forgot it. I used to work with this guy named Lido who drives me crazy. So it's just brought back too many memories.
Oh, okay.
So even though it's, but maybe if you ask me again, Rand, I will.
Lido, Little Boz Skaggs. Right?
Little Boz, man.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with Boz.
That's right. All right. Now we're
Whoa.
That's all the pictures.
Hey, that's me.
It's you. Where am I in the mouse world? All right. Boop. Yeah. So those are all the pictures, and something like that. I had but yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Just a little Hoboken stuff.
A little stroll down Hoboken memory lane.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, with that guy from Lodi. Who,
Yep.
Haven't been in Lodi in a while.
Mm.
So I'm sure Lodi's probably forgotten me, but it's always in my heart.
Right. And there's nobody there anymore. I mean,
no, it's a ghost town.
There are no O'Tools in Lodi.
No,
right?
no. They've evicted us all.
Yeah.
And don't come back.
That's right.
I'll show yous.
All right. Well, why don't I just close it up? We've gotten to our we've done a good job.
At the end of the road.
That's it. Yeah.
We did our best, ladies and gentlemen, and if you didn't like it, well, there's always next week. Irene will put on a nice show, I'm sure. It'll
be fun.
Yes, Irene is really wonderful, and I think Glenn Morrow's coming up too. And
after my eye surgery.
After the eye surgery, Rand's eye surgery will not be on Hoboken Talks.
I will not live stream the cataract. No, the corneal transplant.
An interpretive dance of the eye surgery will be performed at Pier 14 the following night. So stay tuned for that. We'll have all the information ready for you. Yep. Interpretive dance of eye surgery. It's going to be a blast.
There'll be some.
You didn't see it coming.
And a poetry slam as well.
A poetry slam, yes.
All right. Let's see. Where do I go? Oh, I go here.
It's your house, not mine.
I know. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay. So Hoboken Talks. Oh, let me take
care of that, will you?
I'll take care of that thing.
What kind of operation you running?
I don't know. All right. So anyhow, so next week we have Irene Sobolov, Irene Corbin Sobolov, and then after that, Glenn Morrow and Danny Schott.
Mud wrestling.
They will be mud wrestling. Well, I'm not sure about that.
I'd pay to see that for $1.
Yeah. And then we'd like to thank Donald Shackett. Donald passed away and included the Hoboken Historical Museum in his will, and it's been a great support for us, particularly in the pandemic era that we've gone through. So thank you,
Donald.
Donald, and
enjoy the universe,
family.
my friend.
That's right. And we also thank the New Jersey Historical Commission. They've given us a grant. Yeah, they've given us a grant to help us improve our technology.
Yes. Look at what they've done.
Look at all this stuff, John. Come on,
I'm
man.
so impressed. It seems so historical and commissioned.
It's true. And the Applied Development Company, who helps us, it's given us the space that the museum is in, given us other space, supports us every day with all kinds of wonderful items for our auctions and stuff like that.
They are the best development company, I swear. Out of all of them, Applied, number one.
Have made the Hoboken Historical Museum what it is today.
It is. They are. We are. We are. Together.
I'll just say hello to Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie, I know her.
Oh, thanks, Anne-Marie.
She's so tiny in that picture.
That's right. All right. And so that's Hoboken Talks. Look for us on YouTube. That's where we pretty much try to do our best to take care of our archives. You might be able to watch the video on Facebook, but if you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see all this stuff.
You'll see it.
A little bit of curation.
Ooh, very little curation.
Come to the museum at 1301 Hudson Street. We have a new exhibit called The Avenue. It's a history of Washington Street. Well, we have a huge map of from 1952 of the Avenue. Splunge.
So big.
We have some really great artifacts from our collection, photos, and we're going to have some really great events coming up soon as well. Also, upstairs where we are shooting right now are the paintings by Donna O'Grady. They're just lovely.
Donna O'Grady, wonderful job, Donna. Wonderful paintings.
Yeah, they're really, really nice. So come on by and check it out here in the shipyard.
Get some art. Get some culture.
There's also, actually, the ping pong table hasn't been making its appearances recently because there's lots of stuff going on in the passageway. So if you're looking just for some activity in the shipyard, come by and see what's going on. It's not just all about what's in our space here. We've got some really fun art classes, ballet classes, drumming, etc. going on in the passageway here at the shipyard. So come on by, and that's the Hoboken Historical Museum.
Come one, come all.
Thank you, John,
Thank you, Rand,
for joining me in this adventure. And
anytime, my friend.
We will. I'll talk to you again soon.
You better.